What we should Timmons here. Now, one company that had a very decent, a little modest here, I should say, is the company of Sony. Whether it's like Sony Classics, Sony, Sony Animation, Columbia, and they've done some really interesting stuff this past year. So, I'm of course doing my top 10 favorite Sony movies of 2023. So, here is my list. All right, coming in at number 10, I'm going with Missing. Now, this is the follow-up to the movie Searching from 2018, and I thought Missing was much better than had any intention being. Of course, Storm Reed playing like a girl whose mother ends up going missing, so she uses the World Wide Web to try to track her down. I mean, the whole movie takes place on pretty much like a webcam, which I really do quite like that concept. I mean, with stuff like Unfriended, Searching, on that movie Host that got released a couple years ago, they did a really good job with that type of concept. And here I thought they did a really decent job with it too. Neil Long, of course, was great. I thought this was a really decent flick. It's not as good as like Searching or anything like that, but I still thought it was a really decent flick there. Number 9, I'm going with the movie The Machine. Now, this of course stars Bert Kreischer, and I thought this was a much better movie than had any intentions being. Of course, this was from the director of Keanu. Uh, based on like a comedy skit that Bert, had told here, where where his like drunken past catches up with him like 20 years when when he and his father, played by Mark Hamill, are kidnapped by those that he has wronged 20 years ago. And of course, you had like Jimmy Tatro, Jessica Burrow was in this. It is a really fun flick, some really fun action to it. But it, of course, did poorly at the box office, but it's still a really fun flick to check out. So if you guys haven't really seen The Machine, I say give it a go. It's on Netflix. It's a really decent flick there. All right, number 8, I'm going with Gran Turismo. A film that I actually thought was much better than Hanging Intentions being, based on the video game here. It's more based on a true story about a guy who ends up, about this kid who ends up, actually racing, competing Grand Prix, racing competition after playing Gran Turismo games. It is crazy this is based on a true story. But of course, John Monsoon, Baby Spice was in this. I thought it was a really fun flick. The car racing scenes was cool. You had David Harbour was great, Orlando Bloom, really decent flick, and more better than had any chance of being there. All right, number 7, I'm going with Anyone But You, starring Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. This film I thought was a really cute and charming flick. Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney were both had really terrific chemistry with one another. Definitely had some really fun laughs to it. Of course, directed by Will Gluck, who obviously worked with Sony before on like the Peter Rabbit movies, the Annie remake, and Easy A. So he definitely has a good relationship with Sony. Maybe he'll direct a Spider-Man film. I don't know. That would be cool. But yeah, this was a really decent flick worth checking out. I mean, definitely had some like cringy moments and all, but I really quite enjoyed it. Number 6, I'm going with the Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington. Now, this isn't as good as the first Equalizer from 2012. It is actually far better than the sequel, though. And of course, Denzel Washington, in his 60s, shows that he still has a. It's definitely a really fun, high-octane action. A really cool shoot 'em up action here. Of course, like Dakota Fanning was great. So a really decent flick worth checking out. All right, number 5 is a film from Sony Classics, and that is Shortcomings. Directed by Randall Park, starring Shirley Cola, Justin H. Min, Debbie Ryan, Jacob Batalon, who obviously is no stranger with Sony thanks to the Spider-Man films. This is a really decent, charming little flick. Great performances, really heartfelt. Has some really decent laughs to it. Really, like Sony Classics know how to make some really good stuff, and here they showed it perfectly. All right, number 4 is Thanksgiving. Now, of course, this is the horror film from Eli Roth. This is from TriStar. but of course TriStar is owned by it's pretty much owned by Sony, so technically this is a Sony film. Uh, what not to love about Thanksgiving? The gore aspects is great. Eli Roth directing this was terrific. It's a lot of fun. Not around. It's a really fun time. Of course, we are getting a sequel in 2025, so we're going to be getting more second comings here. So yeah, really decent horror flick. Number 3, I'm going with No Hard Feelings, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Andrew Feldman, Matthew Broderick. This is a lot. This is one of the funniest comedies of the year. Of course, definitely, Jennifer Lawrence is really terrific in this. Her chemistry with Andrew Feldman, I really quite enjoy. It gets really raunchy, it gets really dirty throughout. So I just really had a fun time with this one. Number 2, I'm going with Dumb Money. Of course, this is based on the GameStop stock investments, and Dumb Money is a terrific comedy. It's comedy, but it's not like full comedy, I guess. But I still love Dumb Money. Definitely had a bit of a Big Short vibe, a Social Network vibe there. Great cast from the likes of Paul Dano to Seth Rogen, Vincent D'Onofrio, Pete Davidson. This definitely is also in my top 10 favorite movies of the year. So a bit of a spoiler for my top 10 best of the year list. But yeah, if you guys have not seen Dumb Money, do yourself a favor, go check it out. I mean, I just love seeing seeing like rich people get what they deserve here, and here really should and this one film really show them to sticking to Wall Street. And my number 1 favorite Sony film of the year is, of course, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's also obviously one of the best films of the year too. It's so terrific. I mean, one of the best Spider-Man movies we had in recent years. Not as good as No Way Home, obviously. That is still the best, but definitely, to me, this is probably the Empire Strikes Back of Spider-Man across Spider-Verse films. I feel like Beyond the Spider-Verse would be the Return of the Jedi of the Spider-Verse films here. This is definitely like, who would expect that lightning will strike twice here? And they nailed it in a heartbeat. I mean, Sony Animation, by the way, they are really, they are really bouncing back perfectly after the Emoji Movie, and here they showed it. It's a really terrific one. I cannot wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse when that comes out. So, yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, just a terrific one. Visually, it's stunning. The animation style is terrific. I just really enjoy this film a whole lot. So, that's pretty much it there. Now, here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Missing. 9, The Machine. 8, Gran Turismo. 7, Anyone But You. 6, Equalizer 3. 5, Shortcoming. 4, Thanksgiving. 3, No Hard Feelings. 2, Dumb Money. And number 1 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, there's some other ones that also got released this year. Now, there are also other Sony films this year that obviously did not make in my list because they're not so good. They, of course, obviously include Alien, which was absolutely terrible. That Priyanka Chopra film, Love Again, that was terrible. There was also the Big George Foreman film. That was pretty awful. I mean, not everything Sony put out this year turned to gold, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, it is safe to say, like, Sony had a cool year, just not everything they put out was the best. So, yeah, anyway, let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite 2023 movies from Sony? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Human Sign.